let me start with just a little bit of data. If you take many of the professional occupations these days, think of the law sector or medicine or even entry-level corporate management, somewhere between a third and a half of the entering class of beginning managers and executives will be female. Because guess what? Women are doing very well in tertiary education. They're about half of all law school graduates. They're, I think, 37% of business school graduates, etc. So there's lots of women at the beginning ranks. The problem is they stall out. We did a study at the task force which was called On-Ramps and Off-Ramps, and it was about how to deal with the non-linearity of women's careers. And what we found in that study is that about 40% of highly credentialed women, on track, ambitious women who are committed to their careers, will voluntarily quit their careers for a short period of time. Generally, it's the second child, not the first, that pushes them out. Now, they're not out for a whole lot of time, on average just 2.2 years. But it's enough to kill their careers. Because getting those on-ramps to be a little more fluid, a little more welcoming, is a huge task. Because right now it's very hard to get back in once you leave. Because careers, were set up in the 50s and 60s with just one model. With the lockstep, continuous cumulative progressions. And if you flout those rules, you can get kicked into oblivion pretty quickly. I mean, we find in our data that if you take 3 years out, even if you, jump right back in and are very committed, you will lose 38% of your earning power permanently. And men get clobbered in the same way. It's, it's the non-linearity, it's the interruptions, it's the gaps in the resume that kill you, not the fact that you're a 35-year-old woman. So I think, where we came to in this research is that one way of making sure that there's lots of great candidates for that vice president position that happen to be women is to do a much better job enabling women either to continue to be attached to the labor market, say in their mid-30s, or by mechanisms of bringing them back on. Over the last 2-3 years, as a result of this work we did, 5 or 6 new programs have been born that deliberately reach out and onboard women who have just spent a couple of years, say, involved in the work of care. They've been remarkably successful. And they have done a great job in making those slates, richer in great female candidates. Because, the fact is, again, in the data, we find that women on average have 9 years of career experience before they take that off-ramp, and their performance evaluations are actually better than the men that they're competing with at that point in time. So, a lot of the seeming paucity of candidates has a lot to do with what happens to career paths in the decade of one's 30s. And what we've ended up doing in the task force is recommended a better stab at giving women a second shot at ambition because, this is precisely what they want.